Episode 3 of Frame of Mind talks about seasonal depression, ways to cope with it, and how other people around you cope with it. If you're uncomfortable with this, I would suggest asking a teacher to leave the room or just tuning me out. Otherwise, stay tuned for some helpful information.
So ways to fight apathy. Well, for me, I'm always really curious about what are we interested in? If we notice that we're losing interest in something, getting really clear on, okay, well, what are the things that do still interest me? And if we're noticing that we're losing motivation or interest in things that once used to matter to us, getting clear on well, why did that matter to me? And is that still important to me? Is it still high value? If we can answer yes to that, maybe we just need to find some new ways of approaching that situation, some new techniques of still achieving the same goal, but going about it a different way that meets our needs and where we're at right now.
Apathy is the feeling of not feeling. And so that was actually, like I told you, Taylor, one of those questions that I really had to just look up, because it's not necessarily something that I personally deal with, or might not be something that I necessarily work with students on very much in terms of coping strategies for it. But of course, it's something that I see. And a lot of what I saw was, starting with some self-reflection of, why am I feeling this low and this feeling of not really feeling anything? And that's kind of when I'm working with students in general, when did this start?
Yeah, so seasonal depression is a real thing. Some people notice that they're more affected by that than others. Some people have nothing really changes for them with the seasons related to their mood.
A lot of seasonal depression is linked back to not getting natural light. That's a lot of it.
If you notice that you're feeling really different, maybe your eating patterns have changed, maybe your sleeping patterns have changed, you noticed it's harder to get out of bed in the morning or to get motivated, you aren't going to your family or friends as much as you used to, or you're losing interest in the sport or activity that you did. These are all signs that we're going through something challenging, and the more that we can reach out for support, the earlier we can do that, the better outcomes we're going to have.
If it's kind of like the same routine over and over and over again, introducing something that's new to your routine can sometimes help with that. Now, of course, everyone's situation is different, but just being able to say, okay, instead of going home and taking a nap today and then looking at my phone, I'm going to go home and I'm going to take a short walk and see how much that makes a difference. Introducing something new.
One of the best things that we can do when we're struggling mentally is to be connected to those really healthy, helpful support people. And COVID kind of interrupts that a little bit, where maybe it's not super safe to be in close contact. So how we go about staying connected and physically distanced is challenging, and yet also not impossible. There's been lots of creative ways that people have come up with doing this. Whether we're all very aware at this point of all our online Zoom meetings or FaceTimes and things like that, but more creative things too, like parking lot parties, or where we stay really far away from each other, yet we're able to still engage with one another.
Giving yourself something to look forward to can also help with that. I think we kind of take for granted that, even some of the small things, I am having a friend over for a bonfire this weekend, or a friend and I agreed to meet up for coffee and socially distance with each other. Giving yourself something to look forward to.
As much as we can, we want to make sure that we're staying active and that we're staying connected. So even though it's dark outside and cold, we can still bundle up and go outside in our neighborhoods for a walk with a partner or a friend. These are things that are helpful to us, making sure as much as we can, if the sun is ever out and shining one day, that we put ourselves outside for a bit, let that sun shine on us, allow it to help fill us and bring back some of those things that we miss out on when it's winter time.
There are some lights that you can get, and you want to make sure that they are the correct lights for giving you that feel of natural sunlight. So that's something that I've heard that works for people who struggle with seasonal depression.
If we're unaware, we're probably not going to get support that we need. So when we notice these things, when we become really experts and keen on our awareness that, hey, something's a little off here, then that's really the place where we can reach out for help and support.
And then, if you've tried some things and it's still not helping, get professional help. Like I said, there's no shame in getting professional help, and sometimes that's what you need. But try some things that you could do on your own first, and then seek out some of those bigger resources if you feel like you need them. And keep track of how you feel. If you use that light, how do you feel when you use it? Do I feel better after sitting in front of it for 15 minutes, or do I feel the same? When I go walk outside, do I feel better or do I feel the same? Do I feel worse? So keeping track of that too, so you can see, oh, that was helpful. Maybe not as helpful as I wanted it to be, but I'll keep trying it because it did work for me the first time. So
Putting in the effort to improve your mental health when you know something is wrong is extremely brave. I'm proud of anyone working to become a better version of themselves. For AHS News, I'm Taylor Roof.